Hello! Happy Shadowversary? Is that what we're calling it? Hey guys, I hope you are having a lovely day and that you and yours are well. And I just wanted to jump on and chat with you guys for a few minutes because TV Guide made that lovely video. And I'm seeing all of your posts and tweets and messages about the Shadowhunters finale. And I cannot believe it's been a year already. It seems as though, I mean, this year's been weird enough. It seems as though things have just absolutely flown by. But I just think back to a year ago and all of the bittersweet, but mostly joyful memories that we had, because we had that huge celebration when the show aired, or the finale aired, and it was one of the first times in a really long while that all of us as a cast had been together. And it was amazing to get to see everybody who'd flown in and to share that experience with a lot of the writers and producers and showrunners and all of that. But I just wanted to jump on and say hey and see if you guys wanted to talk about it. Because, you know, Shadow fam for life. And I'm here to chat and support and just share this with you, you know? Hold on, I'm going to look at some of these things real quick. Amazing. How is everyone? Do you have any questions? Anything you want to see? I was going through and seeing if I could find any old BTS that I haven't posted from the finale that I could post. So I may do that later if you guys want. So it's been a while. What was your favorite part of the Shadowhunters finale? I know I can't pick, but I'm curious to see after a year of watching it and working on it. How's Lilith finding quarantine? I think Lilith would be an expert at quarantine because she was practically quarantined in Edom for a long time. So I think all of us could, you know, look to the example of Jonathan and Lilith and Asmodeus. Maybe not the best examples. Let's aspire to not end up as spiteful and vengeful as they are. But all played by the sweetest actors with the most lovely hearts. Hey, Adam. Okay, let me see. There were some questions that I missed. Do I miss working on Shadowhunters? Yes, I do. And it's mostly because of I've worked on some lovely projects since then, but Shadowhunters was lightning in a bottle. It was special. It was family, from the cast to the crew to the writers to every single person involved. I've said this a million times, and I'll continue to say this because it extends to every single one of you that has come on this journey with us, is that it's family and it's special, and there's a community that's been created by all the lives that were touched by this show, and you have so much to do with that because you've kept it alive and you've kept us connected, and I really think that's beautiful, especially now, given that we all need to stay connected in this time. I'm repping my Shadowhunters shirt. Sebastian, Jonathan, two brothers, same guy. Indeed. Let's see, who is out and about? I'm still learning all of these new features that are here on Insta Live, because there's questions and this, that, and the other. Here, I'm going to go to some of these questions here. Will there be a new season of Shadowhunters? Not that I know of, but I would love to be able to do a reunion in, 10 years and see where are they now, character-wise. Favorite scene to shoot? I think if I had to pick a favorite scene, it would be the Malik wedding. Just everything about it, because so many people were there. And everybody came out to watch with us. Everybody came out to participate, even those that weren't working that day. And I have a little video from that day, and it really was a sense of community. It almost felt like being backstage at a theater, because everybody was there and talking and playing music and dancing and listening to something. And it felt like a party, and it was on our last day on set. And so we all needed each other to get through it. And there was definitely a reverent festivity on that day. You guys have so many great... Imagine a Christmas episode. See, this is what I'm saying. Imagine like a Christmas episode or a social distancing episode. Can we still portal to different realms? Are the Seeleys unaffected because they're not human at all? They're, angel, half demon. I could get totally fandom on you guys and talk about this for hours. Don't think I haven't spent part of my quarantine thinking through these questions. My goodness. Would Mia and Clary get along? I think they would get along. I know Clary would admire Mia for her skills and for her passion and for the way that she has taken things up in the way that she has. I think Mia might need to warm up to Clary a little bit, but they'd get there. Clary would win her over eventually. If Clary can win Alec over, Clary can win Mia over. Let's be real. Guys, where's Clary Santa? I think that would be funny. I'm all about this Shadowhunters Christmas episode. Would Clary and Bob get along? Yeah, I think they would. What do you think of the ending? I'm getting this question a lot. So when I first read the ending, I still had to there was a lot I was processing when I read the finale. Hey Ryan, what's up? And it took me a while to figure out, and I spent a long time talking to Todd and Darren and talking to everybody about making sure it was right and it did service to all of these characters and it didn't take everything away that we'd done and all of Clary's growth and everything that, we'd worked for the last few years. And what I came to realize after shooting it and after seeing it especially is that what it really does is it makes a statement about love, which is what the show is ultimately all about, is that love makes you stronger. Love is stronger than Edom's evil or than the spite of the angels or any punishment that can be handed down. Love, especially a love like Clary and Jace's that is so instantly electric and so alive and keeps them connected no matter how far apart they are, is something that is stronger than anything and will overcome anything. And ultimately that, Malik's love and Sissy's love and Clace's love and, the even familial and friendship love like Alec and Izzy have for each other or Clary and Simon, that will overcome anything. And that's what keeps these characters connected. And that's ultimately what the show is about from beginning to end, if you look at it, which I find to be a lovely way to end the show. For now. What's Clary's best part? I think the best quality of Clary is also her biggest flaw. It's the fact that she isn't perfect and that she has the best of intentions, and because of her passion and her intentions, she will throw herself into anything head first, particularly for people she loves. It also tends to be her biggest flaw because she doesn't always think it through all the way, but that's where her strength comes in, is with the people that surround her that will help to guide her and help her grow and help her learn, which is what we saw. Guys, you're sending so many good questions. Oops, what am I doing? I'm pressing buttons I don't want to be pressing. Goodness gracious, mercy sakes alive. How was it working with Lola? Lola's a powerhouse. Lola is a little badass in her own right, and I'm so excited to see all the amazing things she's going to do. She was so brilliant, just coming in as a force to be reckoned with. Papa Wolf, yes, Isaiah, the one and only Papa Wolf, who is then Papa Shadow Wolf by the end? I don't know. Has anybody rewatched Quarantine? Has anybody rewatched Shadowhunters during the quarantine? I've been popping in and out of the rewatches as you guys are doing it. Oh, whoa, what do you think? I love this question. What do you think if it would be like if Oliver was Clary's dad and Valentine was Mia's dad? Oh, I think if Oliver was Clary's dad, she would have been an archer as opposed to maybe fighting with swords, which would have been interesting having her meet Alec. But I think if Valentine was Mia's dad, I think Valentine might have succeeded. Because I think if Mia was raised by, at least the Mia in the original sense that we first met her, if Mia's pretty fierce, and if she had been trained and had a propensity for evil, I mean, better watch out, world. Shadowhunters every Saturday morning. That's what I've been trying to pop into. You rewatched it 19 times. Whoa, that's amazing. Ooh, Mia versus Alec. Who wins with the bow? Okay, this is a highly debated question because we have to establish some ground rules. I mean, are we talking... Because Alec has supernatural accuracy. Not only is he a very, very skilled archer, but to add on top of his already... skill level based on his, human form and abilities and his technique. You have his Shadowhunter agility and accuracy and speed and all of the strength and all these other things that, you can activate and add to it given the Nephilim blood in his system. Which there's no way that Mia could overcome because Mia is, despite all of her skill and ferocity, is human. So if we're talking Shadowhunter ability, Alec would win. But if we're just going on pure skill and technique, I don't actually know. Because Mia was trained by Nissa Al Ghul, and she is top notch. Shout out to Katrina Law and Matt Daddario, because I miss them both. These are great questions. What is one of the favorite scenes that I filmed? I think a scene that we don't talk about a lot that was really fun was anytime we were in the... you know what was really, really, really amazing to film was everything we shot in Paris. That was so much fun because it was just a few members of our crew and me and Dom and Luke literally running around Paris looking at these incredible sites, these huge, scenic, iconic things, and getting to play out these iconic scenes that we'd been building up to for, years by this point. And there was such a, I don't know, for me, it almost feels like an alternate universe because we were so encapsulated in this experience and really sharing it with everyone, with these people that we still love. And it turned out so beautifully. It was a big risk to take, and a lot of hard work, but came through, paid off in the end. Favorite outfit from any character on Shadowhunters? I really do think that Harry had the best clothes on the show. I mean, Magnus Bane is the finest dresser in all the Shadow World, and we know this. I can't tell you the number of times that I'd be on set with Harry and go, I want those pants and those shoes. I would wear all of this, or badass jackets. Truly, the wardrobe department was beyond incredible. They took everything so seriously, and they really put so much thought and effort and time into creating the looks. Most of the looks a good portion of the looks that people wore on the show were made by the crew and designed by our wardrobe designer and her technicians. It truly was astounding, the things that they would create and come up with. And, I always loved it because they had the Shadowhunters children's rhyme up in their office. And they would base a lot of the colors that people wore in different episodes, aside from the different colors that, the Silent Brothers wore, or the color of the execution robes, or the color that different characters wore. They would base a lot of it on the story of that episode for that character and sort of put the pieces together in that way. And that would be a lot of fun. Side note, would I go on Chicago Fire? Sure, why not? That'd be fun. I'd love to work with Alberto again. It would make my day. Favorite part about Clace? I think what makes Clace such a great relationship on Shadowhunters is that they are perfect complements of each other. you know, when one is weak, the other is strong. When one needs support, the other is there. And then when they're both strong, they're unstoppable. And they, you know, that push and pull is what keeps their sort of electricity between them, but it's also what makes them such a great pair. I miss Shadowhunters too. Do I speak French? Very little. I'm learning it. Because of ThosCon in Paris, I have been around enough people that are, you know, speaking French in conversations that I can recognize bits and pieces of, that I've learned little bits and phrases from that, but I'm dedicating part of my social distancing to learning more. Ooh, what was one of the most difficult scenes? One of the most difficult scenes was actually also one of my favorites. I don't know if some of you probably remember because you're angels like that. The scene where Jace throws Clary off the roof. That was one of the trickiest scenes for us to film because something and this is just the nature of what happens when you're shooting a television show like this. I miss your weekly screams too, Adam. Something will happen at the beginning of the day and then you have to sort of roll with the punches and adjust. And then it happened. There was a problem with an earlier scene. And so where we were supposed to have had probably 6 hours to shoot this fight, we had maybe 3, maybe if we were lucky. And so we had to take the fight, which was supposed to have been much longer, and cut it down and rearrange it and rework the fight. And then we had even less time to shoot it with all the wire stunts and all the everything else. And I so credit our amazing camera crew, our amazing stunt crew, our directors, our ADs for really pulling it together and helping Dom and I make it happen. Because Dom and I did that entire fight. And then on top of that, it got down to the wire of doing our closer up shots of the actual fighting in the scene. When does Dom not prank me? I think the last time Dom truly pranked me was after I pranked him on the Rings teaser that we did, which he and Isaiah got me right back. I mean, there was no lag time. That's how you know they're master pranksters, because I pranked them and then within 10 minutes they had already pranked me back. So it was, I mean, they work quickly, especially if you get the two of them together. Oof, no stopping them. I still haven't taken the time to read the Connecting series. No, I haven't yet. I did read all of the Mortal Instruments when we were shooting the first season. And it immediately drew me in. It was magical, and I took so much from that and tried to, you know, pull as many details as I could into the series. I think a lot of our cast and crew had read and studied the world, so we were able to plant a lot of little Easter eggs and, you know, fun things for fans of the books, so that there was a fun interplay of people that knew the series so well and knew the details and knew the books could find new things and re-experience the world and make those connections, but also have the nostalgia of their original experience with it. You know, I do miss the red hair. I've been thinking that, actually. My hair is getting redder as the blonde grows out. And it's kind of wonderful. I miss it because it's, you know, it reminds me of Clary, and it's my natural color as well. So there you go. It's been so long since I've been my natural hair color. Oh, heart emojis. Thanks, guys. Favorite color? It changes. I don't know. Lately, I've been really feeling a happy yellow. Best moments with Sebastian. Oh. So, Will Sebastian. Some of my favorite scenes to shoot were actually the earlier ones, because you have these two characters. I don't know, maybe that's just me as a book fan that was loving it, because these two characters are evolving together and sort of dancing around this longing that both of them have to connect, and yet they don't even fully realize that they are the person they're dying to connect to. And then with Luke, it was the last scene that we shot on the street. I just remember coming around the corner of the fire truck and seeing, it was the last scene I shot with Luke, is the scene where Jonathan dies. And I came around the corner and I saw him standing there in his full demon glory with the smoke and the flames, the burning cars, and I instantly burst into tears because I was so proud of my half-demon brother for coming to fruition the way he did. Just being such a good little demon. No, but it was amazing to have that journey kind of come full circle, and it struck me in that moment. It was very, very, very bittersweet moments all around. I think my favorite moment on set with Will was definitely when we were doing our little, we got silly one day, and our Angelica, our behind the scenes content creator, as it were, I guess that's the best title for her. She took us around to the sets and was like, let's be silly and let's play. And that's where the big beige brocade bookmark and the big Bible book came from, which is it's become classic in my friendship with Will. I'm not sure if, and the Christmas pigeon. Can you tell I've been watching old videos? Guys are sending so many good questions. I have to go through them all. But is everybody doing okay? Is everybody holding up? Favorite song from Shadowhunters? I mean, I'm a big fan of Rock Solid Panda and Alberto Rosende, so I love me a little Nightshade, I love me a little Fragile World. I mean, I'm a little bit partial to this song called Ember. I don't know, a couple of you might have listened to it. And thank you for doing so. But I really loved the song that Todd played during Clace's last scene. That song will always make me cry because Todd was playing it on set while we were shooting that scene, so it's almost a sense memory for me at this point. And I do love Fire Meets Fate. Fire Meets Fate is a great running song because you just feel like a badass. It's like running to a score from an action movie. Bob's around. He's right over there. He's taking a nap right now, so I need to leave him alone for a little bit. So many questions. I love Pride and Prejudice by Jane Austen. It's a great, great classic. How do I talk about this and not cry? I'm glad you love Ember. Funny's blooper that is recorded that I think has been released online right now will always and forever be the baby goat feet. I don't know if all of you have heard tell of the legend of the baby goat feet, but I will regale you with it now. Because I haven't thought about this in a long time. So in the Iris Rouse episode, where there was her nurse was pregnant. At the end of the episode, the nurse delivered the baby, and it was a half warlock child, and so Magnus has this baby in his arms, and the baby was supposed to have baby goat feet because that was its warlock mark. And we had this little teeny tiny weeks old baby on set. So we only had the baby for a couple of hours. We had to be really quiet so that, we wouldn't disturb the baby. And all of a sudden we're doing a take, and I was sort of standing behind the couch, so I couldn't really see what was going on fully. I hear this thunk on the floor, and then I look up, and Harry is biting his lip. Daddario has tears streaming down his face. Dom's purple, and I'm trying to figure out what's going on because we're all trying to stifle laughter. The baby goat feet had just fallen out of the swaddle, and it was just such a odd moment. It's that, it's that moment where you're told you're not supposed to laugh, so it's so much easier to laugh. And we all got the giggles, and we were just done for. And I think they had to cut the scene because in the end, none of us could stop laughing. Because every time we did the scene, all we could think of were the baby goat feet. And that, my dears, is the legend of the baby goat feet of Shadowhunters. Do I watch Lucifer? Yes, and I'm way behind, but I love Lucifer. And I was super excited to work with Tom Ellis in Crisis on Infinite Earths. Would I film a Shadowhunters movie? In a heartbeat. 100%, absolutely, undeniably. Favorite location from Shadowhunters? I really loved the boat basin. We had a lot of fun in the boat basin. A lot of iconic Clary, Jace, Simon scenes there. Jade Wolf, hey Katie, what's up, my dear? Josh, I love you. Favorite location? I would say, Jade Wolf. Jade Wolf was special because it was there from day one, but I think my favorite, the thing that felt most like the home of Shadowhunters was the Ops Center. That was the first set I saw, and that was one of the last rooms I was ever in on set. And it really did come full circle. Actually, after our last table read, I had a few minutes before I had to leave set. And I went straight to the Ops Center, and I sat there, because after the first table read, they had shown us the Ops Center for the first time during the pilot. And then I went back in there after our last table read and just sat by myself for a few minutes, because we weren't shooting in there at the time, and it was really quiet, and I just wanted to take a moment to take it in while it was still in its existence and in its full functioning order, as it were. And it was nice to have a space that was usually so busy and so full of people I love, just to take in the energy, take in the quiet, take in all the memories that had happened there. And I took a few pictures. Hey, Tunde! I miss you. So many good questions. I am on my own. Yeah, I've been relying on technology and social media to keep me connected to people. Thank goodness for it, because otherwise I'd be fully utilizing carrier pigeons and smoke signals by this point. Because I miss people and I miss social interaction. But I'm so proud of everybody for doing their part and for staying home, because that is how the world is going to heal. As a theater kid, what was my favorite musical? Growing up, probably Into the Woods was my favorite musical, because I love Sondheim and I love the patter and the characters. But now I don't know, because my repertoire of musicals has quite grown since then. Shadowhunters Zoom reunion, that would be fun. I don't really know how to organize that, but I would be in 100%. Tom Ellis is so lovely. And somebody asked what it was like working with Tom Ellis. Sorry, I'm not just bringing up Tom Ellis out of the blue. Working with Tom Ellis was absolutely lovely. He is such a master of that character that I was floored. And you can tell he has fun with it, which is always, it makes it more enjoyable for everyone else as well, because we can really play. Sorry, you guys, there's so many questions. I'm overwhelmed. Every time I scroll, it like jumps back up because you guys keep sending more. It's amazing. Mwah. Kisses to all of you angels out there. Let's see, what time is it? Okay, I have a few more minutes. I can probably do like 5 more minutes if that's okay with you guys. All right, let's do rapid fire questions. Let's go. Favorite singer? Right now, Dua Lipa, because her album is fire. Favorite moment with Matt Dario from Shadowhunters? They gave Clary and Alex so many good like banter scenes where we were walking on mission and all that. That was probably my favorite. Anytime I got to banter and match Alex sass with Clary sass, it'd be great. But there's some great moments with Matt Dario coming soon in Push. Favorite moment with Dom? Goodness, there's too many. The last scene is I always talk about the last scene being my favorite, and it probably is, but I'm trying to think of one that I haven't talked about in a while. Dom and I had a lot of fun doing all the stuff in the woods with Alan. The season 2 finale was great. We had so many fun fight scenes in the woods, and we got to run around the woods with drones, and that was pretty cool for us. We had a fun time. When are Dom and I going live together? I don't know. We should, though. That was fun the other day. The other day when that happened, it was not planned. Favorite food? Apples, probably. But my vice is more like Mexican food. Or apple crumble. Yeah. Or any mashed potato-y type. Maybe I'm hungry. So that somebody brings up food. Is my nose original? Yep. I grew it myself. The family gave me the genetics and I grew this puppy myself. How long does it take to place the runes on the body? It depends on the person. We had it really down to a science for me because I didn't have as many tattoos at the time. So for me, it was more about just putting the tattoos on and making sure they were sealed so that leather jackets and things didn't take them off or sweat if we were fighting. But for folks like Dom, it took a lot longer, and I marvel at him and our makeup team for doing it, especially for like the shirtless scenes, for example, because the guys would have upwards to 30 or more runes on their body for those scenes, and having to, cover their existing tattoos, and then put the runes on, and then make sure everything was sealed and the upkeep. And I mean, all our entire makeup team got to be rune experts by the end because they were either cutting runes or touching up runes or patching runes or putting on runes or taking off runes. I'll never forget, there was one day, me, Emerald, Dom, and Matt had all gotten back at like 4 a.m. from shooting our last scene of the night. We were out in some graveyard somewhere, as you do, and we all got back to the trailer. We were all into the makeup trailer, out of our rooms, out of our costumes, and in the van on the way home in 10 minutes. And that is how much mastery our makeup crew gained over these runes. I said this was going to be rapid fire, but I just keep telling stories. Can I go live more often? Sure. Why not? I've just been, it's funny how everybody goes, oh, we have all the time in the world because we're all in our homes, but people are being so creative and coming up with so many things. I've thankfully been super busy, which is awesome. Favorite season of Shadowhunters? Do I wish there were more? I really, really loved season 2B because that's when I think the show kind of picked up a lot of momentum and really found its voice. But I think the show had a lot of time to marinate and really develop to the point where the finale episodes, movie, whatever you want to call it, was, I think, our best work. Because not only did we have all of that past history, we had the freedom to do whatever we want. And it really was our love letter to you, the angels, the fandom. as a last hurrah to honor this world and these characters that we'd all worked so hard to build. And it was amazing to watch everybody pull out all the stops and go, you know what, we could do it this way. Well, we've never done this before, so let's do it now because we can. And I just bearing witness to that, to the passion, to the love that everybody involved had for the show was priceless to me. Would I like to appear in the next crossover? Yes, I would absolutely love that. I had so much fun switching gears to Arrow. Sorry. I had so much fun on the crossover, just getting to work with everyone and see how each of the shows worked and play with the different character relationships. It was fun and it was crazy and it was so, it should not be possible to achieve something like that. And yet, again, because of the passion that people have for these stories and these characters, they make it possible. And, if the Shadowhunters crew is magic, well, the multiverse crew are superheroes. Do I prefer cooking or baking? I definitely am more of a baker by nature, but I do love to cook as well. When I actually take the time or have the time to do so, it is something that I enjoy. I especially like cooking with other people. Most of the time when I cook, it's with family or friends, and that's my favorite because it's a shared experience, and I have so much nostalgia associated with it. So many good questions. Number one thing on my bucket list right now, travel. I as many of you know, I'm a bit of a travel bird in a sense, in that I love to see different parts of the world and travel and learn and create those memories and experiences with people. And I can't do that right now. So my Instagram saves are full of travel destinations and places I want to go and people I want to meet and experiences I want to have. Because when it's safe to do so, I'm looking forward to having some adventures with some people that I love. Because that's what we do. Do I miss Clary's hair color? Yes. Would I consider joining Lucifer? Sure. I would love that. That would be a treat and a half. I keep scrolling. Oh gosh, what am I doing? Oh no! Have I been to Cancun, Mexico? No, I've been to Tulum. But I would love to. Mexico was every time I've been to Mexico, it's just been a blast. And the food and the music and everything's so amazing. What's it like working with Colton Haynes? Colton Haynes is the biggest sweetheart, and I love him to death. And we're both pretty much from the same place, so, we got that Casey connection going. Yeah, he's the biggest sweetheart and the most fabulous human, and has taught me everything I know about K-pop. So, thank you to Colton for that. I have not been to Peru, but I would love that. I haven't seen Outer Banks yet. I keep seeing things about Outer Banks. Shadowhunter or vampire? I would have to say Shadowhunter just because I don't think I would want to drink blood for the rest of my life as sustenance. Although, if there's anybody that can turn into the skid and make being a vampire work for them and make the best of it, it's Simon Lewis. We know this. Favorite book? Watership Down. Always been my favorite book. That or Alice in Wonderland. Those are my top two currently. Although, I actually haven't read Watership Down since I was a kid. And I'm very curious to go back and reread it. So I have many, many things on my social distancing to-do list. And that is one of them. All right, you guys, I'm going to do a couple more questions and then I got to jump off. Let's see. Favorite movie? I'll give you 3 of my favorite movies. Gilda with Rita Hayworth, Princess Bride, and Usual Suspects. Favorite TV show? Again, I'll give you 3. Mad Men, Breaking Bad, Fleabag. My first tattoo was the angel rune, actually, at the wrap party for season 1 of Shadowhunters. You can thank Tom Sherwood for that one. Favorite Disney movie? Mulan or Pocahontas? But I'm also very partial to, Great Mouse Detective, or Mary Poppins, or Alice in Wonderland, or I could go on. Finding Nemo. Favorite Shadowhunters book is City of Heavenly Fire. For sure. That book, when I first read it, I actually had to put it down because it took such a dark turn that it shocked me. But Sebastian Jonathan came to be my favorite character, and that book had so much in it that made me feel so many. I had all the feels reading City of Heavenly Fire, and I, by that point, I'd known the cast for almost a year, and I was really seeing their faces and hearing their voices and all of that as I went through reading this, and I think it made the book mean a lot more to me because they were my friends and people I loved and people I had literally fought alongside by that point. And I cried a whole lot. But it's great. Favorite hobby? I'm a bit of a grandma in those senses. I love to bake and I love to knit. But also, figuring out creative ways to work out has become a frequent hobby in this time. And puzzles. I've rediscovered my love for puzzles, you guys. I have a puzzle on my floor right now, and it's everywhere. It's a mess. All right, just a couple questions, and then I'm going to go. Do I sew? A little bit. That doesn't count as the last question. Okay, let's see. I'm looking. Am I a fan of Supernatural? Yes. Yes, I am. Is Lucifer Clary's uncle? That's an interesting question. Okay, let's think about this. Let's think about this inter-fandom logistically. So Lilith is kind of Clary's stepmom. And if Lucifer, maybe uncle, great uncle, distant cousin, step twice removed, I don't know. I'm not sure how all those lines connect, but they connect somehow. Who's my kickboxing coach? Well, Bob. Do I like the Rick Riordan books? Yes! I loved Greco-Roman mythology as a kid. So Percy Jackson, I loved that book series so much. All right, you guys. I'm going to answer 2 more questions, and then I'm going to jump off. I know I keep saying this, but you guys keep sending great questions. Favorite Percy book? Oh, it's been like 10 years since I've read these. I want to say maybe the 3rd one, if I remember correctly. What do I miss most about the cast and crew? This is going to sound strange, but that feeling of family, walking into our soundstage, walking into this space that should have been felt empty and professional and all these things. It felt like home. And that was because of the people that were there and because of the community that was created and the people that were brought together by this story and by these characters and by the people involved. And it just created this team spirit, as it were, that was our magic. And that's what made the show what it was. And you're a part of that. And on that note, I am going to bid you adieu and say thank you and happy 1-year Shadowversary. And I can't wait to continue this journey with you guys and see what happens next. But all my love to you angels, to the Shadow fam, to everyone who was involved in making the show, in watching the show, and in loving this story. So thank you guys. All my love, angels. Have a great day. Be well.